Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of First Chronicles, the 26th chapter, which is dealing with the division of the gatekeepers. Now, as we've been going through in the past couple of chapters, you see how David, in preparation for the temple, had got the resources and the laborers and everything prepared for Solomon. But he also, in anticipation of the temple being built, set a proper order, or let me say he set up an order in dividing the sons of Aaron, right, the Levites, to play a particular role in the temple by sacred lot, meaning approved of the Lord, to specify what family would do what, so that there would be order, right, in actually the ordinances of the Lord. So we went into, like those that would perform like the handling the shewbread, right, and the sacrifices and the other administration. And in the previous chapter, we went into the musicians, right, that would sing the praises of the Lord. And now we go into the divisions of the gatekeepers, those that would guard and oversee the entrances and basically the matters of who was in the temple, who was allowed in there, and so on. So this is First Chronicles 26:1. Concerning the divisions of the porters, of the Korhites was Meshelemiah, the son of Kor, of the sons of Asaph. And the sons of Meshelemiah were Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Johanan the sixth, Eleonai the seventh. Moreover, the sons of Obed-Edom were Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, and Sakar the fourth, and Nathaniel the fifth. Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Peuthai the eighth, for God blessed him. Also unto Shemaiah his son were sons born, that ruled throughout the house of their father, for they were mighty men of valor. The sons of Shemaiah, Othni, and Rephael, and Obed, Elzabad, whose brethren were strong men, Elihu, and Shemachiah. All these of the sons of Obed-Edom, they and their sons and their brethren, able men for strength for the service, were 62 of Obed-Edom, i.e., he had 62 men that were, strong and ready to be able to serve. And Meshelemiah had sons and brethren, strong men, 18. Also, Hosa of the children of Merari had sons, Simri the chief, for though he was not the firstborn, yet his father made him the chief. See, going to show you that the chief would be, of your sons, the head that was set up, basically. And you notice it keeps mentioning strong men because to be a porter, you got to be able to play the role, right? You got to be able to hold your own and stand your ground and ensure, that there's proper order in terms of the going ins and the coming outs of the house of the Lord. Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth. All the sons and brethren of Hosa were 13. Among these were the divisions of the porters, even among the chief men, having wards one against another, to minister in the house of the Lord Yahweh. So these were how the porters were divided amongst the chief men and the porters up here. Right, so as it says here, having duties just like their brethren. I'll read the whole thing in the NKJV. Among these were the divisions of the gatekeepers, among the chief men, having duties just like their brethren to serve in the house of the Lord. So some were musicians, some handled other parts. Their job was this. And the lot eastward fell to Shelemiah. Then for Zechariah his son, a wise counselor, they cast lots, and his name came out northward. Now, when it mentions here the lot eastward, remember that the temple had different entrances. So the eastward, as it says here, was the east gate. Though their job was to be the porters over there. So it says the lot for the east gate fell to Shelemiah. Then they cast lots for his son Zechariah, a wise counselor, and his lot came out for the north gate. To Obed-Edom southward, and to his sons the house of Asupim. To Shupim and Hosa, the lot came forth westward, with the gate Shelecheth, by the causeway of the going up, ward against ward. Eastward were 6 Levites, northward 4 a day, southward 4 a day, and toward Asupim 2 and 2. There's a reason why I keep going to these other translations, just to make it clear for the listener. Sometimes the more modern English makes it a bit easier, especially when describing locations. So it says here, let's read the NLT. 6 Levites were assigned each day to the east gate, 4 to the north gate, 4 to the south gate, and 2 pairs at the storehouse. At Parbar westward, 4 at the causeway, and 2 at Parbar. Now let's look up these words and see if they're just like names associated with those places. So the causeway, okay, the highway or the public road. And Parbar is a structure or building attached to the west side of Solomon's temple. Okay, so we know that's on the west side of things, the west wing. Oh, well, it does say it, right? Westward. And these were how many were stationed over there. These are the divisions of the porters among the sons of Kor and among the sons of Merari. And of the Levites, Ahijah was over the treasuries or the treasures of the house of God, i.e. the treasury, and over the treasures of the dedicated things. As concerning the sons of Laodan, the sons of the Gershonite, Laodan, chief fathers even of Laodan, the Gershonite, were Jehieli, the sons of Jehieli, Zetham, and Joel his brother, which were over the treasures of the house of the Lord. Of the Aramites, or Amramites, and the Isharthites, or Isharites, the Hebronites, and Uzzielites, and Shebuel, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was ruler of the treasures, and his brethren by Eleazar, Rehabiah his son, and Jeshaiah his son, and Joram his son, and Zichri his son, and Shelomith his son, which Shelomith and his brethren were over all the treasures of the dedicated things, which David the king and the chief fathers, the captains over thousands and hundreds, and the captains of the host had dedicated. Out of the spoils won in battles did they dedicate to maintain the house of the Lord. So when they dedicated it, meaning that if they got a lot of gold, silver, precious things, that would go toward, like, into the treasury, toward the maintenance of the house. If there was a breach and it needed to be repaired, for them to pay for the provisions, for the bread, for the the materials, because they use tools, right? They use materials. They had bowls, they had vessels, they had flesh hooks, right? They had things that they would hang the animals on, and so those things eventually wear and tear, and you might need to replace them, and so on and so forth. So that's what is meant by the maintaining of the house. And all that Samuel the seer, and Saul the son of Kish, and Abner the son of Ner, and Joab, the son of Zeruiah, had dedicated. And whosoever had dedicated anything, it was under the hand of Shelomith and of his brethren. So they would be in charge of that. They would be committed to their hands, and they would use it accordingly for the temple. Of the Israelites, Kenaniah and his sons were for the outward business over Israel, for officers and judges. So as it says here, from the clan of Issachar came Kenaniah. He and his sons were given administrative responsibilities over Israel as officials and judges. And of the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brethren, men of valor, 1,700 were officers among them of Israel, on this side Jordan westward, in all the business of the Lord and in the service of the king. And that was the role they played. And this side westward of Jordan means that, on the west side of Jordan. Among the Hebronites was Jerijah the chief, even among the Hebronites, according to the generations of his fathers. In the 40th year of the reign of David, they were sought for, and there were found among them mighty men of valor at Jazer of Gilead. And his brethren, men of valor, were 2,700 chief fathers, whom David made rulers over the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, which is on the east side of the Jordan River, for every matter pertaining to God and affairs of the king. So any issues along this, they would go to these men that were appointed for that. And that brings us to the end of the book of 1 Chronicles, the 26th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rechak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.